Good morning. This is Brian Etchison, VP of Carrier Capacity, BCB Transport, coming to you from Mansfield, Texas. Uh, Today's show is going to be approximately 1 hour long, and we're going to go over a lot of neat stuff today. Some of the things we're going to do, first of all, we're going to have a short overview from our owners, kind of give you an idea how BCB got started. Next, we're going to have a testimonial from one of our top drivers, so you can kind of get an idea about our safety culture and how we operate operationally. Then after that, we're going to review our safety culture and our results with our director, one of our directors at BCB for safety. After that, we'll take a look at our equipment for comfort and safety, what you could expect, and that will be John Pelotti. Then we'll have a short testimonial from another one of our successful drivers. And then we're going to take a look at how our operations makes you successful here at BCB. And we'll close with a Q&A and give you some time to ask the questions that you might want to ask to find out a little bit more about our company. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and take us right to our owners for a quick overview of our company.
I am Rick Larkin, co-owner of BCB Transport, co-founder of BCB Transport. BCB is located in Mansfield, Texas. We started with a vision back about 11 years ago. Big Blue, Brian Brzezowski, and myself, we came to the conclusion one day that it was time to start our own trucking company. So we began with 0 drivers, 0 trucks, nothing. And here we are today at nearly 300 tractors. BCB Transport today runs freight for FedEx, for Whirlpool. We run it for Dart, for Solo Cup, for Train Industries, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Our customer base is very broad, and nobody really has more than 10% of our business today. So BCB Transport has expanded in many ways. We've purchased some companies. We've opened up operations in Colorado, Oklahoma City, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We are always looking for the right opportunity. Although we're a trucking company, what we really do is safety. It stands for be safe, communicate, be on time. Orientation at BCB Transport is really getting our drivers in here to get them to understand what we value. And number one, we're going to place value on life. We're going to place value on the lives of our drivers. It takes a minute to understand that, but we're also going to bring them in and teach them how to use the electronic log, to teach them how to be successful. We know that drivers know how to be successful, but it's also important for them to learn how to be successful here at this company.
My name is Brian Brzezowski with BCB Transport. I'm a co-owner. BCB Transport is a trucking company that transports reefer and dry freight all over the continental U.S. We have brokerage, we have warehousing, and additional services, air, truck, train, plane, we got it. Some of the challenges I would say was, hiring drivers, retaining good customers, getting good customers. And how have we got past that? Well, we've put more qualified people in place. We got salesmen now with 50 years of experience. We have a recruiter that has 25 years of experience that leads our organization on that side. So we put the right people in the right places to overcome challenge. For the operations side, on the trucking side, would be Scott Shapiro. He does all the trucking operations. Matt McClister does all the brokerage operation. Ed Eldridge and Jesse Rodriguez are our top salesmen. Brian Etchison leads the way with the recruiting. David Schumann is in the EDI department, heading that up. Shelly Brown in HR leads that department, and Rick and myself oversee all the operations from there.
I really enjoy the atmosphere that we have. It truly is a family company. It's our drivers, our office. Everybody in this company really does care about one another. Trucking is the backbone of this country. We saw what trucking did during COVID. When drivers across America stepped up in a time when the nation needed us to move product across this country. Listen, this industry is not going anywhere. We're going to be maybe a little bit more regionalized, but what we do is absolutely paramount to the success of this country's survival.
Safety culture of the company I work with is the strongest safety culture that I have seen in all the trucking companies I've been involved with and all the trucking companies I know about. In this company, it's very different. They have a show that they put on twice a day. It's interactive and you can play off of one another. Each of the drivers can ask questions, they can make comments. The topics are different, and usually they have a theme for the week that they're going through. So the live aspect of the show, I think, is what makes the culture of this company very different. They're talking about things that you are able to participate in if you choose to do so. All you have to do is press a button on your phone, raise your hand, and they'll call on you.
Hey, good Monday morning. Welcome to Safety Struck, coming to you live from Studio A of beautiful BCB Terminal.
The first wave moved through Kansas City. We put this in motion. You can see it's all kind of moving straight, almost at a nice 45 south.
It's imperative that, you know, if we see the trailer 3 to 4 weeks out, give us a call.
Hey, welcome back. As you can see, we talk a lot about safety here. We are excited about safety. And speaking of safety, I have Dale Kellen here with me, our Director of Safety. And we're going to talk a little bit about our safety culture. Dale, how's BCB doing in meeting the CSA requirements out there?
You know, Brian, it is so much fun to be here, and thanks for having me here because I love talking safety. BCB is safety. We've got a great culture. How are our CSA scores? You know what? I've worked with a lot of companies. Ours are probably the best scores I've ever seen. But we don't rest on that. We continue to challenge ourselves to go down. You know, each score has a threshold. We're not even close to any threshold. We're less than half of any threshold. So that gives us really great scores. The other thing is ISS score, which is your inspection selection system. Mm-hmm. When you have good scores, that score ISS is down and means drivers don't have to get pulled in as often. Right. So our scores are great. We're doing wonderfully. But again, with our culture, we don't just rest on it. We continue to strive to improve.
Right. I know we talk to talk to independent contractors, company drivers, and especially the independent contractor. You know, they're very concerned about time on the road. Yep. Time is money to them. And you know, probably one of the coolest things that I always like to share is, you know, when you have a good safety score, you're not going to get pulled in near as much, and you're not going to be using up some of that valuable time you could be using on the road.
Yep, and that is also true. But the on the flip side of that, if you do get pulled in, and they're going to get pulled in, I mean, it's just a random a lot of times, you get that clean inspection, and man, we get a lot of clean inspections. BCB is going to pay you for that. Right. And that's the way it should be, because that time is money. You're taking the time to do your pre-trips, post-trips, getting your equipment taken care of. And so when you do get pulled over, if you do get pulled over, you get that inspection, you get that clean inspection, we pay you for it. We want to compensate you for that time.
That's awesome.
I like that. It's one of the best things about it. So.
Well, next question for you, Dell. What does this safety result mean to the company, and what does it mean to the driver who's working at BCB, considering joining BCB?
Oh man, Brian, that's so many facets. I mean, but the biggest thing is you know, CSA scores. Everybody said, well, insurance isn't supposed to use them. They do. Insurance companies look at it. That's how they base your rates. Right. You got good scores, your rates go down. Companies that want to use you or you want to go to work for, you take your scores and say, hey, here's what our safety looks like. That's important to you know, companies. They want to use carriers with good safety ratings. They don't want.
Yeah. You know, you make a great point, Dell. You know, I know one of the things when we talk to the owner operators. On basically our insurance costs. They're amazed of the low rates we have here and how that really directly impacts their bottom line.
Yeah, and it does. And so, I mean, that's part of the reason it's important. It's important to our customers. It's important to us because that's how we get the good freight. That's how we keep the freight out there, is because they want to continue to use safe carriers. We're one of the safer ones out there, so we'll get to do that. And that just gives us more freight, more choices for the drivers that come on board here to pull.
Right. Let me ask you this. Tell us a little bit about Safety Struck and, you know, how it all got started and how it influences our drivers, our company, and our culture. But you got time to talk.
I got time to talk?
You got time to talk.
Okay, well, that's good. Safety Struck, you know, it started before I came here. Okay, yes. So it's running. It's a Zoom call and driver participation. Oh man, what it means to the company, what it means to the company and to the drivers is, you know, one of the regulations Federal Motor Carrier says is you have to have safety meetings with your driver. It fulfills our ability to have those safety meetings with drivers. But it's not just us preaching to them.
more than
Brian.
that, isn't it?
It is. It goes both ways. They can raise their
Right.
hands. They can call in. They can email, whatever they want, and we get to address that. And when they call in and share what's happening out on the road with us, making it better and safer for the drivers that are going that direction or whatever, makes it better. So it's an interactive. It is the most interactive safety meeting you'll ever see, because if you think about it, it's really a safety meeting. It's improving the culture, safety culture, not only for BCB, but the safety culture for the drivers. And Brian, I'm going to tell you, I've been in this business a long time, as you have.
Yes.
I can say a lot of things. I have a lot of knowledge, but not near as much as all our drivers have out there. And so when a driver calls in and shares his experience or his knowledge about safety with other
Right.
drivers,
Right.
it's invaluable,
Right.
because they're living it. They're driving every day. They're doing it on a minute by minute
Right.
basis. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest bonuses from having a BCB Safety Struck show. The other thing is it gives us the ability to share other departments with them.
Right.
What's going on within the company? What's the hot spot? Birthdays, anniversaries, everything that goes with it, Brian.
Mhm.
Everything that makes, because safety, we want drivers to be engaged. Okay.
Right.
So we have to have